Hello, everyone. Good morning. There's a few people in the waiting room, so we'll just give it 30 seconds or so. Let some more people come in. Okay, let's get going. So hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. Very excited to be joined by our eBay experts as they share how to sell smarter on eBay. My name is Laura Barber. I'm a partner account manager at Limworks and specialize in e-commerce marketplaces. And today I'm delighted to introduce you to our speakers, Silvia, who is a partner account manager for France, Italy, and Spain, and Paul Friday, senior business development manager in North America.
Hello.
Good morning.
So if I could get you to move to the next slide, please. And the next slide. Perfect. So today we are going to cover an introduction to eBay US and what has changed. We will dive into insights into growing focus categories at eBay US, what to expect when it comes to onboarding, and how you can expand internationally with eBay. We will, at the very end of the session, have a Q&A. So there's a Q&A function at the bottom of your screen. As we go along, please pop in any questions that you have, and we will get to them at the end of the session. Paul, over to you.
All right. Well, morning, everybody. Thanks for joining us today. I know this is being recorded, so maybe afternoon or evening, depending on when you're going to watch this. So let's go to the next slide very quickly. So as we mentioned in introduction, Paul Friday, Business Development Manager here at eBay. I've been here for about 6 months, took a year off. Before that, I was with eBay for a couple of years. I'm actually a seller myself in onboarding. As you can see, my background, my collection here is very much through eBay, and I do buy and sell. I've been on platform since 2002, 600 plus feedbacks at 100%. And even the jacket I'm wearing actually came from eBay as well. So it's very fitting to wear it for this particular occasion as well. But today, let's talk about a lot of onboarding situations. We'll talk about some of the focus categories and what we're doing to drive in those categories. And then really just kind of go through some of the process of what's new. I know we're always coming out with new things, but not all of our sellers or sellers coming on board always know exactly what we're up to. So we want to be super communicative with that. So with that, let's go to the next slide. All right. As originator of the online marketplace, big thing about eBay is you own your own item page, right? We're not here to compete with you. We're not here to compete with you on price. We don't adjust prices. You own your price. I'm sure most of you probably know that already if you are on eBay as well. And for those looking to join in, that's a big differentiator that you get versus some of the other marketplaces with that. You have full control of your listing, which means you own the price, the content, the images, and more. Obviously, we have a big database of content and images, and we'll touch that later slides as well. We offer international shipping options, which is really a good seamless opportunity for you to broaden your buyer base and get your items sold. And we've been doing that for multiple amount of years. And you can toggle and control that whether if you want it on or off. So if you don't want something to go international, you have that control. Or if you want to open it up and have it be able to go international, you can do that as well. So it's a seamless process. We have set up with several freight forwarders, very secure through the process of that as well. And the buyers know exactly and get informative of what's going on. We'll hit about that a little bit later on. We have seller programs in categories like certified refurbished and electronics, authentication in our luxury goods for the shoes and luxury items, those red bottom heels, those special Air Jordans. We want to talk about collectibles and get into Pokemon cards and baseball cards. We have those authentication programs to ensure what the customer is buying and what is being sold is legitimate, that item, and the guarantee for the customer itself. We offer sellers and programs such as even open box and certified refurbished programs as well in our electronics, heavily used in phones and PCs, but we'll touch base a little bit about that as well. And really, we offer everything all the way down the gamut of conditions, from brand new to open box, to used to certified and refurbished in 3 different categories, even down to for parts not working. And speaking of for parts not working, in case you didn't know, the very first item sold on eBay almost 30 years ago in a couple of weeks was a green laser pointer that was actually sold for parts. Didn't work. A gentleman out in Seattle, I believe, or in the Washington state, picked it up, bought it, needed it to repair one that he had at the time. Laser pointers were pretty expensive, and green was a very expensive option. So we actually synced with that buyer a couple of years back, about 10 years ago, and actually did an interview, got the laser pointer back, and it's actually in our home office in San Jose. So a really good story about being sold for parts and where we have at. All right, let's go next slide. So eBay today, we made a lot of changes in those nearly 30 years. As I mentioned, next month will be our 30-year anniversary. And sometimes us folks at eBay like to say, this isn't your dad's eBay. Things have changed a lot since those 90s timeframes in the early 2000s from where things are at. For example, our refurbished program gives a customer or the buyer a 1 to 2 year warranty, depending if it's certified or seller refurbished. And the authentication program, as I talked about earlier, to ensure those products are legit and ensure that what your item you are getting really is that correct item. And it's not a fake or a counterfeit or some faux Jordans, as we like to say at times. So very, very important. Obviously, we've grown 190 plus markets, a lot of mobile volume off the app. And so making sure the content is appable, as I like to say, is very key. We'll touch that here in a couple of slides as well. Always tons of live listings, no matter what you're looking for, whether it's brand new, hard to find, hard to get, previously loved, like again, this coat that was done, I think, about 5 years ago and no longer in new circulation. You can even buy eBay merch, like the hat I'm wearing on eBay as well. So we have it all for you throughout all those categories and for what we're known for as well. So, yep. Let's touch next one. So how can eBay help? Well, we really have a lot of different areas that we can go. Go ahead and click through a couple of more. I know you can't go back, so we'll wait. I think there's one more. All right, well, hold it right there. We allow sellers and direct brands. So we've been working a lot with direct brands throughout the past about 15, 20 years, enabling the full control of the programs to help them achieve their goals on eBay. Our conditions allow them to sell, of course, brand new, open box, return, not used, refurbished, selling for parts, as we talked about. We offer that complete gamut for them to really sell through their product and then be able to have the full function to get the best recovery rate if that item is used or been renewed or retouched, refurbished, cleaned, et cetera, wiped if it's on the electronics, like on the phone side. And even when it comes to apparel or shoes, right? You're talking about reselling those as used and or previously loved, down to watches and collectibles. Being able to select is, comes with box and papers, right? So we have all those types of multiple conditions to keep the customer informed and really allow you to really share that item to the best capability to get the best return value you can for it. So direct brands is very big because obviously they sell a lot of new, and then what they do with those returns, they usually sell them on eBay. So that part is very quickly. And then for even really your average eBayer like myself who buy stuff and then hang it on the wall, buy some collectibles, hang it on the shelf, sell it a couple of years later. I have a whole closet full of Legos in a box that I sell when they get retired. So those types of situations as well, to even down to the small seller like myself. So really, we have all of that type of capability within that. eBay ads, programs that we have, concierge program, how to deal with possibly a buyer who's saying they didn't get their item, so on and so forth. So we really have that full service team at your disposal, depending on if you're selling one item or buying one item in a year, or you're selling hundreds of items in a day and thousands or hundreds of thousands of items throughout a year. Next slide. So let's touch on our focus categories. These are the business and categories where really eBay has a full support team behind it, from business development all the way down to category managers and account managers and throughout the process as well. Unfortunately, we don't do it for every single category. Some of them are looked at a high level, while others actually get full multi-layer support. So let's talk about those real quick in our focus categories. Next slide. Authentication guarantee. This is one we announced a couple of years back. I want to say maybe 5 years ago. Don't exactly hold me to that. But really, really important. And this is where folks are buying luxury goods, and we want to make sure that the sellers are selling legitimate luxury goods. So therefore, then when authentic guarantee in certain categories, like our luxury goods, so your purses, your shoes, all the way down from those Jordans to those red bottom heels, down to the watches, et cetera, get authenticated. And what that means is that you'll see it when you're shipping an item. It will say authentic guarantee as a customer who's buying it or a buyer. Once they buy that item, that seller then ships it to a location that is near them, typically near the buyer, to be authenticated. That item then gets authenticated and sent to the buyer themselves. Pretty seamless process. The date for delivery windows are usually right in range, so the customer knows when they're going to get it delivered, as well as they get all those marks. I actually bought a set of Nikes a couple of months ago, first time buying something through this program, and therefore then it came from Jersey. It got authenticated in Las Vegas, showed up on a Thursday. It was shipped back out on a Friday, and I got it on a Sunday. Now, I know not everybody may get an item on Saturday and Sunday, depending on where they live and the delivery methods, but I live pretty close to Vegas and I'm in Phoenix. So we have pretty much delivery on 7 days a week from all the major carriers. So again, authentication guarantee, really the first group or the first one really come out there and put a stamp on it saying that this item is going to be authenticated and it is accurate. So you actually get the little button like you see on the sneakers that was tied to the laces. I got a little card inside that actually had an ID on it that said the item was authenticated. Very nicely well done throughout the process and very informative as well. Kind of wish I'd done it sooner, but I'm usually like a Vans clearance buy kind of guy at the store. So this was my first time actually using it in that situation. So really seamless, great process. Buyers and sellers love it. It gets used a lot. We have multiple authentication locations and we have multiple authenticators as well, even down when it comes down to collectibles like the Pokemon cards and others too as well. So as much as purses and bags and watches you see on the screen, it also goes down to some of the gradings of the cards and things like that. So really cool program. Next slide. Let's talk about pre-loved. Again, shameless plug on the jacket. Got to have some fun with it. So pre-loved really is what we're standing behind on the fashion side of it. There is a lot of used previously loved fashion. A lot of products, a lot of fashion gets bought for a one-time use, whether it might be a cocktail party or an 80s party with the Pac-Man theme, a dress at prom or a dress for a wedding, so on and so forth. And then it hangs in the closet. And so, typically was a good, I don't want to say pretty much expensive or a normal out-of-pocket expense. So you're necessarily not going to drop it off at Goodwill, but that does happen. And we partner with them as well, Salvation Army and others. But in most cases, it sits in the closet and it may sit there for a while. And so now I have the capability to previously love it. We do a lot of fashion shows and fashion partnerships with Vogue and others in the space as well, in order to bring awareness to the program that we have on eBay. And obviously we have direct brands in the space as well. And then any particular seller who may have a wedding dress or a cocktail dress they've had for a couple of years and it's time to move on. In some cases, it may also not fit anymore, whether that's good or that might be bad, and a little loose or a little too tight, and allow for somebody to get really get I don't want to say resale value, you could really get recovery rate to really get some money back on that and then apply it to other purchases they may want to use down the road, possibly on eBay and or into someplace else they may want to purchase to get money for that item. So again, we do a lot of special marketing here with a lot of designers and stylists in the pre-loved space. And so that's where fashion really kicks off, and where we drive a lot of that in the focus category as well. All right, let's go next. Refurbished. My home base. I've been around the electronic space for almost 30 years and love it. Always been a tinker of it since really my dad came home with an Atari back when I was probably 6 years old, and playing around with that and helping to fix things up where there was VCRs and DVDs. So fun fact, I used to have my own little side business helping neighbors and my parents' friends program their VCRs back at that time. So super dating myself, but I think the jacket kind of does that anyway. And even a couple of Betamaxes in the day. So I was always kind of a tinker of that. I used to build computers and things like that. Now these days, I pretty much just work on cars in my hobby. But yes, love the retro stuff, and even got a couple of examples to go with that. Obviously, this wouldn't be refurbished, but I did buy it used. But we'll talk about refurbished as we talk about some phones. Try to give this category as much time as I did with the pre-loved and the others, but it is more passionate to me. So in the refurbished side of things, back about 5 years ago, we kicked off a refurbished program, certified refurbished program for direct brands, and also a seller refurbished program for wholesalers or folks that have bought refurbished products, used products, and then are making them back to renewed like new condition. So heavy in the phones, laptops, we see it in televisions, US economy in general, when it comes to electronics, is also a very well try it before you buy it, or a return economy in some cases. So some of these product categories in electronics can have up to a 30% return rate. In some cases, it might be a little difficult in how to install, and therefore they get easily returned as well. So manufacturers work directly back with folks like myself and eBay or others in the space in order to sell the items, have them reflashed, tested, make sure they work like new, and then be resold on eBay under our programs. So within that, of course, we cover tons of electronic categories. We have 150 plus top brands in the space and working on additional ones all the time. And then we have a lot of indirect partnerships as well with sellers who get returns from retail stores or other online areas, and then have the whole functionality of testing them, cleaning them, resending them back to new. So whether it's Windows or Google or Apple OS, et cetera, and then have back for repurchase. They get graded. So in a seller refurbished program, we have excellent, very good, and good. What might have some minor scratches or some minor wear on it. Anything that does not fall into good then just falls into used, and there is no additional warranty that eBay gives to the buyer. In the certified refurbished program, everything has to be excellent, like new condition, and that is typically going to be validated brand direct that the seller is getting the product from. We actually need LOAs and invoices that we request, so on and so forth, and we do spot checks. And within that, we give the customer a 2-year warranty. So in most cases, brand new, you only get a 1, but with eBay, we'll give you a 2 if you're buying in the certified refurbished program. It is a gated program for sellers to get into. So later on, there'll be a QR code or some information that you can request additional details for, and we can send you some details for that. You can also Google eBay refurbished. It'll take you typically to a page within eBay itself that talks about the program, and you can apply online from there. Then most likely get an email back from myself or my team. And then we also just recently quietly launched an open box program, very similar. The item has to be new, it has to be untouched, it has to include all the original accessories. It could be in the original box or in a separate box, but it has to be new, never used, and sold as open box. And we give the customer or the buyer a 1-year warranty and for certified open box. So interested in that program as well, feel free to reach out in the questionnaire. Again, mainly within electronics and some of the sporting goods side. That also includes golf balls, golf clubs, baseballs, and electric scooters. And obviously your most famous type of product, as I mentioned earlier, within anything with a cord or a battery for a home, is typically included within the refurbished program. We don't have it for parts and accessories, even though there's a lot of electronics there, but just as an FYI, and feel free to ask questions too on some of the categories, or you can Google it. On the eBay pages, we'll tell you that as well. So real quick fun fact, a matter of fact, as I kind of show off some phones, believe it or not, there's actually more phones in the world than there is people. So a study back done in 2024 by the International Telecommunications Union found there's 8.5 billion phone subscriptions out there on 7.9 billion people. So when we say there's more phones in the world, there is people, that is a true fact. So yes, I know we all got phones in our drawers. I'm part of it as well. You never know what that old iPhone 6 might get you, 20 or 30 bucks on a trade-in value. So feel free to leverage some of that and trade that old phone in, and they always have a new life. Might sell for 50 bucks on eBay. And therefore then that goes to somebody who might need one and doesn't need something that's going to be blazing fast speed, lots of memory, whatever else. They just need a basic phone. Might be for a kid or maybe a parent, older parent, et cetera, et cetera. All right. Slide 12, next one. Onboarding. So now that you heard a lot about our current offers, new things that we're up to, such as previously loved and the refurbished program and our authentication program, and now what we're detailing, working with direct brands all the way through to small sellers. Let's talk about the onboarding process to make sure that you have and drive your success at eBay. Next slide. Whoa, that's a busy slide. So as you can see by going through the titles here, going through the boldness, right? We're talking about titles, pictures, imaging, competitive pricing. Let's touch about what really makes it important. And really for a current seller today that might be listening in on, these things are always good factors to make sure that you have in your daily routine when you're listing items or reviewing your items for some higher sales and run rate, right? Titles are the hook, very, very important. In some items, the model number should be included. And I would say if it's like an iPhone, obviously iPhone 14s, 64 gig red. No reason to put the Apple part number. No one's usually typically looking for that. It has that memorized. But yes, when it comes to maybe some laptops or other electronics, some of that stuff's important. So always good to kind of do some pre-work search and Googling around, checking model numbers and see what pops up and see what's important. Also looking at other titles. If someone else or other sellers are selling a similar item, what are they doing? We will also send you recommendations when you're listing, if you're not using an automated feed, so you can see that as well of what's important and what's not. But titles are always the hook. It's the first thing that customers are going to see next to the images, and a video. Super important. Obviously, that is what the customer is going to be looking at next to the title, just as you can see from a search in the bottom left-hand image, and very, very important. And in our programs, you're going to see things that might be authorized seller, top-rated seller, free shipping program. You're going to see maybe a refurbished program. It includes a warranty, authentication program. Those badges that eBay and those programs that eBay has, which are free to a seller, also show up in that search algorithm. So very important to be a part of those programs and be included in them if you are capable to. And then obviously when you're looking at the buy situation, seeing free shipping, seeing how many have been sold, seeing the condition of the item. Very, very, very important that we don't want to have returns or upset customers for both of us, not only you as a seller, but for the platform as well. So very important that the item is described correctly and in the right description. Again, title is key. They're seeing your feedback in that buy box opportunity. Then as they scroll down that page, they're going to see condition repeated again. Very likely, very good to go do. So again, just repeat itself so the customer is very clear on what they might be buying, what condition it might be in, whether it's used. Very good, good. So it's really important that they know that that item may have some little bit of wear and what that is. Again, you can use those direct images for that item as well to show off that wear if it is excessive, and where it needs to be at. And then obviously seeing things like the logo here, we're showing off from a seller who's actually with Linworks. So you're seeing Boulevard logo there. You're seeing their top rated plus. They're seeing an eBay guarantee. All those things show up to the customer. So really important to be in those ranges and in those programs, is that, again, just increases conversion for the customer. You'd be surprised how many top sellers that we actually have in the electronic space that sell millions of items, millions of dollars of items in use that are unaware of the electronics program for refurbished and what that does to their conversion once we get them in. Because the customer's seeing that they're, of course, top rated, seeing that now they're going to get a 1-year warranty, and knowing that what can exactly condition it is, that it's refurbished versus used, creates a whole another level of conversion for them. So using those programs. Offering free returns is always key, and fast and free shipping. Depending on the category, customers always love free. And just to be competitive in this space, small boxed items, always important to probably do 2-day shipping. We highly, highly recommend it in a lot of the electronic space when it comes to phones and some laptops. Obviously, big, gigantic 75-inch TVs are not going 2-day. They will go freight forwarder. So, but obviously, in smaller boxed items to be competitive with other folks that are out there, those programs are pretty key to offer some of that. So just some things to keep in mind. And again, when you're listing, if you're doing one-offs, eBay will make those recommendations for you. Or if you're feeding the items, it's always good to go out there and see where others are listing at as well, and know your competition on eBay. Returns are always key as well, just to be competitive. I know we kind of sometimes hate to use that word returns, but also competitive as well in that space, and it helps drives conversion. So like in the refurbished program, got to offer a 30-day return window. You don't have to offer anything else past that, because we give that customer a 1-year or 2-year warranty depending on the refurbished product. In other cases as well, for some of the pre-loved and the fashion, authentication program there as well. So very important. But yes, no warranty on those, but offering free returns. Could be a ground label, doesn't have to be 2-day. Very important in order to get the customer to convert. And descriptions, as we talked about, very, very important in that content, to be unique, be different, make it stand out. Sometimes use subtitles, use part numbers where it's important, include the condition of the item in the title. So very, very important. All right, let's go next one. Listing tips. So again, just trying to show some examples here, again, from a Linworks seller. This is one of the watch sellers that they have. So kind of as you go below the fold on an item itself, you're going to have the capability where you can feed in and make it versus just text and have a nice looking item page itself. So a great example here is from the Casio store. They got multiple images. I'm a big one of always showing what the box is going to look like. And that way then the customer knows exactly what they're getting, what their expectation is It's one of those things that I feel that it takes you from a 4-star to a 5-star review, and condition even for a review as a seller or review for the item. Again, the more information to let the customer know what expectations are, the better that it is. In this case, showing off the box, they show the logo, they're giving you a description of the item, they're giving you some recommendations below. Some of our sellers will do accessories to go with those items, whether it's a TV and they're showing off cables, or whether it's a phone and they're showing off some other accessories that they sell. Not everybody always sells those phone accessories, as they might just sell phones. But there is options for that, or you can show off additional items as well. You're seeing information about your store, so they can see information about the seller store itself, the reviews. They can see about returns. They can see a contact us. They can see about us, and all that information is there. And then, of course, even back at the top underneath the Casio logo store there's even, variables on how to shop and find other items that the store is selling on eBay. So these things are very, very important. It also really identifies and helps with the conversion. And again, allows that buyer to stay within your store, and the items that they're looking for. Underneath the text, obviously, you're seeing the front side of the item page. Again, seeing those images, those titles, you might see a strikeout price, discount if you buy multiple, add to cart, add to box, or purchase now. Seeing the condition, there might be a coupon code that eBay is running as part of our promotions. And therefore, then you're seeing the price after coupon to get them enticed in order to purchase. And that coupon is applicable that they have to use at checkout. So many options here as well as part of just that promotions and different things that we do versus just listing an item and it's being listed, for an auction. Believe it or not, over 80% of our items sold on eBay are buy it now prices and not auctions. So another one of those, this isn't your dad's eBay type of lines that we do state. So we do have auction stuff as well, but mostly all the brands, all the top sellers, folks like you are not using auctions. They're going to be using buy it now pricing, and or even maybe best value offer, right? Offer value. So where you can have maybe a little bit lower price as an option that the customer can buy from. It could be $5 off or $2 off. Or like the example here below, you're seeing if you buy multiple quantity, you can get a discount. So some will offer that as well. Probably maybe on a watch, it happens. Typically not going to see for like a 75-inch TV, or definitely on a pre-loved vintage 1986 Disney jacket. They probably just have one, so you're not going to see buy multiple and get a discount. But again, options are there. It's really, really important within that. All right, let's go to the next slide. Talk a little bit about promotion and promotional tools. There is a lot here to really digest on. So let's kind of jump in. Multi-buy, we just talked about. Order level discount, that might be like, look, you're selling it for $199, but you're saying best offer. You can set some parameters of that price. So you could say from $179 to $198. So somebody comes in and offers, let's say $189, it sells. Somebody comes in and offers $179, it sells. Somebody offers $178, they're going to try again. They usually get 5 offers to try again. So some different options there that can happen. Coded coupons as well that you can run yourself, and or eBay category specific coupons that do run as well. Usually we'll get those emails back to whoever has an account or in your inbox of those category coupon codes that are going in, and do you want to be included or not. Typically, I think it's about 6-10 weeks that they'll notify you of those programs. That coupon is on you, so you do absorb that discount. But if you are in the program, then you are super highlighted, and in that program, when people and sellers will shop those items in those coupons, you will be shown. So it also is an elevation there to happen as well. Seller event markdowns that we do, that happens a lot, obviously including, and I don't want to say markdowns, but Black Friday, back to school campaigns, always some sort of campaign going on that's seasonal, just like we have in our retail view within the US. Seller initiated offers. Promoted listings is one that also works out really well, and this is a self-help tool that you have within your store. You can do promoted listings, spend a couple of dollars, help get your listing to the top of the page, have a sponsorship logo on it. You could do term buying as well. So all of that stuff internally, different areas and avenues that top rated and top sellers use in order to help show off their items. One that I think is kind of a sleeper is the newsletter. I don't think there's probably enough sellers that really use this one. This is when you have followers on your store. You can send them a newsletter. Let them know about upcoming new items, maybe promotions, maybe a coupon code running, promotion that's going on, maybe a new brand that you're adding. So some different things. So newsletters are one that I think is kind of a sleeper that enough sellers do not use. And it is another marketing tool that's free to your disposal within eBay. Again, make sure you have a good amount of followers on your store, on your storefront in order to use that. Order level discount. We talked about eBay shops and we showed some of that off as well. And then premium services as well, right? We talked about those badges of top rated seller, free shipping, easy returns, certified refurbished program, authenticator. Be involved in those programs. And if you think you should be and are not, feel free at the end to fill out that questionnaire and we'll make sure we get you to the right group for that as well. I know a lot. I don't know everything, being upfront with that, but just to let you know. All right, next slide. I'm going to take a quick sip. So onboarding at eBay, what is needed, right? I know most of you are probably onboarded today. There might be a handful of you that are watching this video down the road that are wondering if you should sell at eBay. So this is a slide for you. You got to have a registered U.S. business. You got to have a U.S. bank account. Always good to have an inventory plan. What do you have? What do you need to do with it? What condition it may fall into? Is it new? Is it used? Is it been reused, renewed, retouched, and therefore then it needs to be in the refurbished program, so you need to apply for that. So maybe it's brand new and it's open box and you want to get into that program. So all those types of situations as well. You have items that want to make sure that are authenticated when they're sold. So really important to kind of think that through versus just jumping in off the bat and line listing a bunch of items that you're listing, right? Live to seller trading calendars. So again, those are going to be our promotions, Labor Day, Memorial Day type of deals, our coupon code programs, Earth Day, New Year's exercise type of routines. We follow a very standard US type of promotional schedule with that. That is just like other resellers and retailers throughout many of years. Resources, technical, customer service, trading. So really, look, if you're going to be putting up 10 items on your own to get a start and you're having it feed through Linworks and the inventory and the pricing is going through, great. But when you start doing 100,000 items or thousands of items, it's not a one-person job. You're usually going to need some help and assistance with that. Because one thing on eBay is you also handle your customer service. So you're going to need to approve the returns. You can also automate it, just have all the returns get approved automatically if you want. But you're going to see that pop into your eBay inbox and down to your inbox, right? As well as also the promotional offerings that are happening. Do you want to join or not? So really important to keep an eye on that. Customer Q&A. They may ask, hey, will this work with X? Or is that medium really a medium, right? Or is it a schmedium? So those types of things are really important in some of those categories of what that is and how does that roll. So very important that you might see the customer Q&A because they can ask those questions from the item page and getting back to the customer. Really important to get back to the customer and approve returns in a timely manner, or that might hurt your seller score. So typically you want to have returns approved and set within 2 days. Obviously, if you sold a jacket and somebody ran it over and looks like they left it in the lake for 3 days and there's seaweed and moss on it, a little bit of different situation, and you're going to want to probably dispute that. For a return, include as much images and details as possible as that goes through our customer service program at GCX. But again, you're going to need to approve those and want to approve those quickly if the item is as stated and came back correctly. So very, very, very important within that to take care of the customer and be customer first within that. So very important. That might be folks from your customer service team that need access, might be folks from your operations teams that need access to handle and approve the returns, to be able to upload those tracking numbers if it's not automated, so on and so forth. So really important to have a plan and think that through. Always recommended to kind of start small, right? It's going to be the crawl, walk, run type of situation as well to ensure that, again, no upset customers. Take those steps, do it correctly, and launch it small and neat at first, and then launch it out from there to ensure, again, you don't have bad ratings, customers are not upset, so on and so forth. So very, very important within that. A couple of different options, obviously, that we have. If you're not sure, you're like, look, I'm a direct brand. I have these returns. I have no way to check them out, look at them, revalue them. What do I need to do? Do you have somebody that does that? Each one of our focus categories typically have partners that can help out within that. Sometimes they're already top-rated sellers. They offer marketplace as a service, as an option. And so, yeah, from all the way from like, here's the product, to send me a check, to the process of like, here's the product, I want to name it, I want to price it, I want to handhold it. They all kind of have those types of tiers as well. And obviously Linworks is the top one for that. So keep that in mind as well when you get down to those services and what is needed. So again, joining in with LinnWorks, what do you need? What are your options? What is the full benefit that you're looking for? And then how does that fall back into eBay as well for partners and what's needed all the way through the process. So sure enough, we have all those capabilities and partners as well to help you out within that. And starting with LinnWorks is where it's at. All right, next one down. eBay onboarding, we kind of bucket into 3 different tiers. You're going to have discovery, integration, and trading. So discovery is kind of what we just talked about earlier. What's a strategy? What's the plan? How's fulfillment going to be done? What is your branding? Your inventory review, where are returns going to go? Where are they being shipped out at? You're going to offer free shipping or not? And what is your cost to ship it, right? Because if you're in New York and you're shipping to New Jersey, that's pretty less expensive than having to ship it to California. So things to keep in mind within that and have that strategy and plan. Integration, obviously, is that one-on-one, right? Getting the updated feeds for inventory, getting the updated feeds for pricing, everything that is needed. So super, super important. And what LinnWorks can offer for you throughout those processes as well. Getting your store created and the feeds that need to come up to go do all of that, and having that strategy and plan into that store creations. Listing order managing, obviously we want to do testing before we go live to make sure all that is in the process as well. And then trading is selling. We still use old school terms at eBay, so we'll say that we're trading, but it is kind of basically you're selling, right? So having your account standards and good reviews, low returns, items are as they are described. So ensure enough that you're not saying something is in excellent condition when it looks like it was been skipped down the river and it's got a lot of scratches and dents on it. So very, very important. Optimization, having those events and coupons, marketing, eBay advertising as well, and setting up budgets for within that as well. Really important. As you said, once you get trading and get going, make sure you have some buckets of MDF or some capability within that's really, really important. So just some things to keep in mind within the process. And as you start thinking about getting your store set up or maybe elevating your store and what's needed within that. All right, almost done. Ice on my side. eBay fees. Yes, we are a publicly traded company, so there are some fees that are involved. Obviously, we have your seller fees that happen at the end of the process. We also have listing fees. So typically as a brand or someone that's going to have a storefront, typically running through LinnWorks, right? You're not selling 1 or 2 items a month like I might do. And therefore then you're going to want a storefront. We have basics starting off about $27, gives you 250 free listings. Any listing after that is about 35 cents. So this is just getting the items up and running on the site. We have a premium program as well that gets you 500 free listings and gets you some more competitive pricing using APIs and capabilities as well. And then our anchor store at $349, 1,000 plus listings, daily deal type of access, listings in multiple categories for the same item, concierge service within eBay. So if you have any situations or something pops up, as well as you have somebody there to help you out. So we have all of those capabilities and some in-betweens as well once you look at that and have those functions. So depending on the level of how many items you're going to be selling, what maybe brand you might be representing and what their needs are, we have all those capabilities. Seller fees, at the end of it, the final seller fee is always going to vary based upon the category. So I can't really say what they are. You can Google that and see that as well. Typically, you'll see that once you join eBay and go through the contract processes, but it can vary, right? Fees for a TV are going to be different than shoes, different than golf clubs. Some programs have set fees, like our certified refurbished program and our seller refurbished program. Everything currently is at a set fee, and they're all the same. So no matter if you're selling a TV or a phone or a laptop, in the refurbished program, it is one set fee. Won't say it is because, somebody might watch this video a couple of years down the road and the fee could change. So, but it is one set fee in certain programs that are out there. So, and a lot of times that fee is less than it would be if it was being sold as new. So just some things to keep in mind. And then there's always options, right? Add subtitles for a small fee, extra images, things like that you might want to do. So again, listings start off small. You can always grow your store up and take on additional ones as well, depending on what your needs are. So keep that in mind. All right, next slide. I think that is it for me. I think, Silvia, you have international selling?
Yes, thank you, Paul. Thank you very much. So as Paul already was mentioned before. So one of the great advantages of our marketplace is that there are several opportunities to sell internationally and to take advantage of eBay's global scale. If we go to the next slide, as you already saw earlier in the presentation, we are present in 190 countries. And we have a global reach of 135 million of sellers worldwide. Almost half of the revenues come from international operations. This means that international selling on eBay is a real opportunity for sellers to scale their sales and to reach out to a wider audience of buyers all around the world. So your questions might be, how can I sell internationally on eBay? If you go to the next slide, so it's actually really easy to sell internationally on eBay. You can sell your items to international buyers. To quickly expand your business, when you list on eBay and choose to ship globally, your items will automatically appear in search results on eBay international countries. And this is possible thanks to the eBay International Shipping Program. It's a program that was introduced recently at eBay. With this program, with this service, you will enjoy benefits like hassle-free international shipments, since we'll handle all international shipping details, including customs paperwork at no additional cost. You would just have to ship your items to our domestic shipping hub, and we'll take care of the rest. So you can control also where your items sell. You can personally manage global destinations or let also eBay manage country exclusions for you. You will have another advantage. It's free returns. So Paul was mentioning we sometimes don't like to handle returns. In this case, we'll manage and pay for returns on international sales at no cost to you. So when your item arrives at our domestic shipping hub, your sale is complete no matter what. And if the buyer opens a return, eBay issues a refund at no cost for the seller. And so all returns communications are handled for you. And the third really advantage of this program is that you are protected. So sellers, once their item is at the shipping hub, they're protecting against common claims from the buyer, including item not received, for example, chargebacks and negative or neutral feedback. So seller performance standards and service metrics won't be affected by late deliveries attributed to international shipping. So it's a really, really important advantage and perk of this program. Besides the international shipping, I also wanted to highlight another program. If you go to the next slide, please. So you can also list directly your items from your account on ebay.com to other international sites, thanks to the advanced international selling. So with this kind of international selling, your items are translated and localized and listed directly on the destination eBay sites. And we have another program that can help you do this. It's called the International Sales Booster Program that has been launched a few years ago with our partner WebInterpret, which is a company specialized in localization and cross-border trade. So they help you create localized and translated versions of your listings, and they help them to list them on 6 key international eBay sites. From your US account, your listings will be automatically translated and visible on also UK, Germany, France, Italy, Spain, Australia. And so you will have really good visibility on those international sites. So the benefits of the program are free and automatic listing translation into German, French, Italian, and Spanish. You won't have additional insertion fees to list in the eligible markets. The web interpret technology automatically selects and manages listings on international sites, and you will have increased visibility and reach millions more buyers, being able also to really compete with domestic listings published with the local competition in the destination sites, because your listing will appear as a domestic listing with everything localized and translated, and also the buyer will have the perception to shop locally, and your item will have more visibility in the search results. So I think that's it for international sales. I will give the floor back to Laura.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you very much, Silvia, and thank you, Paul, as well. You shared such brilliant insights with us today, so there's lots for the audience to go away and think about. On the screen there, you'll see that there's 2 QR codes. The one on the left directs you to a page to book a demo with Limworks if you'd like to find out more about our platform. And the QR code on the right-hand side is to register your interest in eBay. So you can scan those now, and we'll leave them up on the screen there for you. And then we'll head into Q&A. So we've had a few questions that have come through into the chat. So I'll start with those, but feel free to add any more in as we go along. The first one, Paul, this one's for you. How do we get into the refurbished program?
You can scan the QR code or drop me an email, P as in Paul, Friday, like the day of the week. So pfriday@ebay.com. Feel free to include your seller name, maybe a link to your store. And then I will drop you a back notification for that and get you going. I can kind of streamline that process a little bit quicker than if you were to Google eBay refurbished, which will take you to an eBay page. You log into your account and you can kind of apply within that, but I can fast track that process if you just hit me up directly as well. So seller scores need to be kind of usually around top rated in that sector of it. So we'll look at the SNAD rate, which is items that are being sold as described. We'll look at your return rate to make sure that it's low as well, and a few other scenarios of it to be included. So if you're not there quite yet, I will give you those details and or some things to work on, and then we can sync back a month later or 2 months later, depending on the situation. So sure enough.
Awesome. That's great. Thank you. And there's another question as well about getting onto the open box program. Would that be the same?
Yeah, that one is not so much as a handhold that I can do, but again, just drop me a quick email. I'll send you to the page. It'll give you the details about what you need to do. It is more automated. And in some situations, if you felt that you're already there by selling, I think it's 20 plus, don't hold me exactly to it. A little early in the morning still for me, I need to drink more coffee. 20 plus open box items without any disputes or any issues or returns. And then you can automatically get in. But I can help streamline a little bit of that process as well and get you over to that program manager if you're in for open box. So we know that there is a lot of stuff that does come back from retail or being sold that sometimes is never been opened. It gets opened at time of return to validate that it's in there and it's not a box of rocks or a brick or Hot Wheels or something. So and therefore then you can get a higher recovery rate for that item in the open box program than it would be saying that it's certified or excellent refurbished. So yeah. Just drop me a note. Again, same thing. Give me your seller store name, maybe a link to your store account, and we can dig into it from there. That's very helpful to get that information.
Awesome. Perfect. Thank you. Okay, we've got another couple of questions here. So what's the most effective strategy for selling a product across all eBay marketplaces?
Oh, so that's kind of a tough one because it might just have been my category. I'm always one to kind of see who is selling the similar or the exact same item today. What are some things that they're doing, such as what's their price? Do they have tons of images? You want to kind of make sure that you're giving that best experience that it can be within that. So make sure that listing is really going to be A+. Always helps that your seller count is also top rated and is A+ as well. We know sometimes there could be a return at the last minute or 2 returns because somebody didn't like it and it might just edge you down a little bit. But if you can withstand that and hold that in that top rated status, it's very, very important. Other than that, I would say sponsored ads. See if there's some already going on from other sellers. So you got to do a little detective work. I don't have a magnifying glass to do my Sherlock Holmes imitation, but do a little detective work within that and see what's out there. And if you don't see sponsored ads, I would say get into that, right? That usually always helps out. Descriptions and images, as I mentioned, very, very key. Just think about your item as like having a car at a car lot, right? You're going to want to go to the item that looks freshly waxed, it's clean, it's in the showroom. The doors are openable, not something that might be dirty or dusty, or like in Phoenix, it rained last night, so mine look horrible. But very, very important to make sure that it looks clean and the best options as you can. So many times we get a seller who's asking for help and they have like one image and a couple lines of content. And so very important that is take a look at it. I always say, what are other people selling that exact same or like item for? And what are they have to offering? Because you could shop it like a customer. Put yourself in that customer hat on and go see what is out there as if you were shopping it yourself, so you know how to be competitive within that item when it comes to the listing, when it comes to pricing, and of course even some ads as well.
Well, yeah, makes sense. Thank you. Okay, we have time for one more question. Is there any database that the seller can access that shows currently the most searched for items on eBay?
Not that I'm aware of. That's a great question. I don't know if Laura, Silvia, if you were able to, who asked that question. Let me dig into that and get back to you.
I think but it's not a database. This is a tool that is what we used to call Therapic. Now
Yes.
what we call the product research tool. That it's already available to all sellers that have a store, and they can research the last 3 years of eBay sales data. So they can have access to sales trends, to average sales prices, average shipping costs, sell-through rates, the sold price ranges in a certain category. So this gives them, of course, an overview and an idea of what are the most researched products on the platform, and also the top items that are being researched on eBay. So I think, it's a tool that they can use for that purpose.
Brilliant.
That's right. I forgot about Terapeak. Well, it's the old term.
Fab. Thank you. Thank you both so much. We will wrap up there. If we didn't get around to answering your questions, we'll be sure to follow up afterwards via email. But yes, thank you so much. Thanks all for joining. Thank you, Silvia. Thank you, Paul. We're looking forward to working with you all.
Take care. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.